What is going on, crypto miners? Welcome back to the channel. Joining me today, DJ Mines. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? I'm excited. It's good to see you.
I know. So today, guys, we're just gonna hang out, casual, two guys talking about crypto, talking about mining. You're not gonna see anything special, so feel free to throw us on in the background, get some work done, work on those rigs, and let's jump into it. Are you ready, DJ?
I'm so ready, man. Let's do this.
All right, so you've been back in action for the last few weeks, which has been awesome. Happy to have you back. And the market has been a roller coaster. We're riding a high right now. But what are you feeling? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing opportunity, man. I'm just always perma bullish, man. I really feel like I've definitely been dollar cost averaging. Most recent buy was 75.6 or 76.5, something like that. I can't remember for Bitcoin. Just 2,000 here, 1,000 here. 500, 1,000, whatever, just feeling it out. And the more it goes down, the more I'm just like, let me throw a little more, just kind of DCA and into it. And you know what? If the whole market collapses, great, because I'm going to buy more. So long term, that's specifically to Bitcoin. Everything else, I gotta be a little more careful with.
Yeah, I hear you. I always try to put some funds aside. I'm always like, anytime I take profits, I always like to put it aside into USDT and just let it sit there. And some people, it drives them nuts to know that, like, I do that. Other people like the idea. And for me, I always wait for these opportunities. I wait for an opportunity to buy in just a little bit. Just like you had said, like, I found myself like $500 here, $500 there. And I think I was really balancing them out over the last few weeks on things like Dogecoin being so low. Like, seriously, like 14, 15 cents. I'm like, this is insane. When just a few months ago, I mean, we were upwards of 40 cents and more. So it was wild to me. So I'm like, all right, this is an easy buy. Dogecoin, Solana was another one that I was like, oh, let's put a little bit into that. And then same thing with Bitcoin, of course, back into Bitcoin. But I think you're pretty hungry for Solana. Am I right?
I like your Solana. Absolutely, man. Because, I know a lot of people don't like staking, but I do stake on Tangent Wallet. So I don't know how much that's off chain. At the same time, I do feel pretty decent with it. I think it's around 6 or 7%. So I'm going to hold it for a while anyways. And I have been holding it. It takes like 5 days to take it off. So I like the benefit of that as well,
Yeah. I have been looking more and more at Solana because a lot of these DEPIN projects that I've been getting into, they're on Solana. Like that's been the really, really nice thing. A factor that if some of you guys, start to take a look, you can go look it up. There's a lot of projects that we talk about, that content creators talk about all the time, that are actually on Solana. And so for me, when I'm taking profits, that's an easy one, just to convert it right over to Solana. And it's a great opportunity from there. But talking about DEPIN a little bit, how are you look? I know, right? This is right up your alley. So what DEPIN projects do you have up and running right now? And pick one that you had your eye on for a little bit. Special thanks to today's video sponsor, Crypto Miner Bros. Crypto Miner Bros has been one of the top ASIC resellers in the industry since 2018, specializing in crypto mining hardware for not just professionals, but also home mining enthusiasts. Some of my favorite professional ASICs include the Bitmain Antminer L9 Dogecoin miner and the brand new Bitmain Antminer S21 XP Bitcoin miner. For home miners, I love the new Volt Miner D1 Mini, the AlphaPex DG Home 1, the iPolo V2X Ethereum Classic miner, and finally, the Canaan Avalon Nano 3S Solo Bitcoin miner. Crypto Miner Bros makes the checkout process easy for new miners looking to make their first purchase by not only accepting wire transfers, but also some of the more popular cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and USDT. Save an additional $70 per ASIC miner with special checkout discount code, The Hobbyist Miner. Need a safe, reliable, and trusted reseller to purchase your next ASIC miner from? Look no further than CryptoMinerBros.com.
Okay. So at the moment, I'm still running my 5 demos. I love those things. They're so easy. It's just in friends' cars and then 2 of my own. And then the GeoNet, it's almost been 2 years. Amazing. I've actually been converting that to USDT or USDC on MetaMask. Yeah, and then I actually rebought. So like I sold closer to 30 cents and then the whole market crashed and I was like, oh wait, now I can get more GeoNet. So I bought more GeoNet at like 20 cents or whatever it was. And I really like GeoNet as a project, so I don't mind holding that. And then I had to shut off the Helium mobile, unfortunately, because they did some new vote. First, it was like you had to have 1 gig upload or download or something like that. That was okay. And then they were like, you know what? Now we don't want this to be for home miners or like home places. They want this to be actually utilized. So I said, okay, it's time for me to wrap this one up. So I do have my eyes on Wingbit. There are some issues with that one that I kind of saw on Twitter the other day. So I'm not a huge fan. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that one. Yeah, we'll talk about that one in a minute. Going back to Demo a little bit. I don't know if you heard that they are sunsetting their auto pies. So I did hear that they're sunsetting it, but they are allowing you to trade in for free for the LTE R1. So I don't know. Do you have any of the auto pies?
A bunch. Yeah, 5.
Okay.
I would love to turn them in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think there's like a trade-in program. I was reading about it the other day, and I was like, I have one of those too in my wife's minivan because I got in on that. I don't know, a year or two ago. Whenever that kind of launched. So that's something I'm going to be doing as well. But yeah, that's been a great, like, talk about passive income, right? That's literally you plug it in and completely forget about it. Like, that's the best kind of income, I feel like.
Yeah, man. And one thing I really like about DEPIN is just getting paid so often and just forgetting about it. So like GeoNet's every single day, no matter what, like $5, $5.50. And then Demo, my 5 is every Monday. I don't know. I'm not making as much, certainly, probably like $15, $12 or something, but it's every single week, you know, and I know it's always coming in and they're always bringing me my money. So I really like that.
Yeah. I have not sold any of it yet. Like, I'm still stacking. I still have, you know, everything that I've made so far with it. A lot of the times it's just keeping up with it. Like, I gotta find a better system of like keeping up with all the different cryptos I'm in and like alerting me of opportunities. I really need to take that time to like go through. I know CoinGecko has like an alert system with the phone app that you can do to be like when it hits this or when it hits that. And I really just got to take the time to do that because, like, for me, I feel like there's been plenty of opportunities in the past that I haven't leveraged. Like, I haven't taken advantage of to be like, oh, it hit this. I didn't know that. You know, I was too busy looking over here to know what was going on over there. And so that's something that I honestly really need to jump on. But that's fantastic. So Wingbits, you're interested in that, which I think is awesome. I just got mine up and running. What's the little concern you have there?
Well, the other day on X, I like to call it Twitter, but you know, it's X now. They announced that 25 or 24.5%, whatever, 25% is going to the founders, and then 24.5 or really 25% is going to like investors or something. So half the project is going back to them. And then like 40% of rewards is going to us. And I'm like, half the project? I don't know, man. That's one thing that really bothered me.
Yeah, I know Wingbits has been around for like 2 years or so, like in testnet and in development, which it's polished. Like, it's really, really polished. Everything from their website to the onboarding to the setup of it. I mean, it works well. I mean, I've been a part of a number of DEPIN projects that are still very clunky, that don't do very well. And it's nice. It works out nicely. But I agree with you on the fact of, I think it's a little like too good to be true. It's right around the time where like it's really getting pushed from the content creator perspective. I had my video out the other day on it. But then on top of that, it's supposed to be going to mainnet this quarter. So it's like, oh, interesting that your tokenomics changed right before your mainnet launch. And people see right through those things. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I haven't been invested enough into the project and been along with it, you know, been involved with it long enough to really be too upset about it. Cause I'm like, woohoo, testnet, like happy to be involved, you know, I'll take it. So I can totally agree with you. So are you still interested in taking the plunge and like setting one up, or are you kind of waiting? I know you're in the process of moving. Kind of where's your head at?
I'm still interested because it's not that much money, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, it's definitely not cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap, but it's not so much money. And what I'm hoping, this could be completely wrong. What I'm hoping is this incentivizes them a little bit to like keep the project going because, hey, they're getting rich. You're somewhat getting rich. You get some, they get a lot. Maybe that'll help. Or maybe, I think it was Mark Cuban that said he'd rather have a piece of a watermelon than a whole grape. So maybe that's not the best example, but that's what I'm hoping is happening. Is like they're like, man, we got to keep pumping this. No, not pumping. They got to keep working on this project because we're making money. They're making money. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I'm always okay with when there's a decent amount going back to like the development side, which always is like great. Then it means like they're going to continue to reinvest. They're going to develop into the project. you know, I love seeing that. I'm okay with that side of it when these projects do that versus like a founders versus like, all right, the guys that started it up. Now, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not that versed in kind of the history of it, but I don't know, like, was there a bunch of upfront capital that was invested in it? And so this is going back to pay these guys back. You know, I really don't know in that regard. But yeah, Wingbits has been really cool so far. So let's jump into the mining side of things. You know, what have you been mining over the last few weeks? What have you got your eyes on here currently right now?
Oh, I just got the mini Doge 3 Plus. It's certainly not at all the best miner. I need to put it on solo. I just set up my BitX 601. It's actually not working, so I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it turns on, it connects to the internet, but it doesn't actually mine. So I'm reflash it. Big issues there, but solo more, I think, is really fun for me. And of course, I still got those 20 AO3s burning a huge hole in my pocket. But you know, I'm determined to finish it and see it through. And you know, you got to record your wins and your losses, and we'll see if there's a loss. So far, it's a big loss. We'll see what happens.
So for you had mentioned kind of, you know, solo mining on the mini Doge and solo mining on the BitX. Is this something you're looking to lean into more of just more solo mining from your side of the world?
I'm such a solo guy, man. I really enjoy it. You know, I hit an Ethereum block. That was like the craziest thing I ever did on GPUs. And like, everybody's like, you're an idiot. And I actually did it. And it was like awesome. And I know Bitcoin's like a totally different league. Like, what are the chances that I ever hit one? But for me, it's fun, man. Like, I like doing it, and I'm not saying other people should do it. I don't know. It's kind of gambling in a way, but I don't care. Like, I enjoy trying to hit that block, and for me, that's very exciting. And I know the chances are minimal, but yeah, I really like it. You know, at my house at the same time, like, sure, I can mine on pool, but is it really worth it for me with a small little mini Doge 3? I mean, probably not. You know, I think solo's better for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of people that are pivoting some of their Dogecoin miners, like their box miners, over to solo mining as, you know, profitability, you know, as that hardware becomes older and older. And unfortunately, you know, scripted moves pretty quickly at this point. But, you know, these mini Doge boxes aren't making anything. They're putting them on solo mining. You know, have some fun with it. You know, a lot of people are selling them. But yeah, solo mining definitely seems like it's the way. I've been enjoying solo Bitcoin mining as well. I have 5 or 6 solo Bitcoin miners, and those have been awesome between BitAxes and the Kane and Avalon Nano 3 and the BMM 101. Like, I got a number of those units. That's been really, really cool to be getting into that. And I think the nice thing is like our audience is all over the place. Like, you have the demographic that's like, wait, you're plugging in this like 40-watt miner. How much are you making per day? And like the concept of solo mining just doesn't, like, I could say as a content creator, I've done a number of videos on these solo miners, and on every single video, I talk about the fact and I explain how lottery mining, solo mining works. And I still get questions in the comments of like, but how much does it make per day? And it's like, did you not spend the last 10 minutes watching a video? And maybe they didn't, I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I think it's a great avenue to be part of something. As I tell people, you know, people just want to participate. They want to say, you know, they're Bitcoin mining. They like the lottery factor for it, and for 100 watts and under, I don't see how you can complain as a home miner.
Yeah, because 2 years ago at Mining Disrupt, I think I showed you, I bought like this Gecko Science, and at the time, it was like 1.2 terahash. It was awesome, but it was like $500. I paid for that, by the way. It wasn't like sent to me.
Was that the R909?
Yeah,
is that what that is?
Yeah,
okay.
It ended up like not working for me at all, but so it worked for like 3 months. But anyways,
Okay.
So I had that going, and it was like 400 watts, I think, or 300. It was a lot of watts. And so now, you know, the BitX coming out, I don't know, was that like 20 watts, 10 watts or something?
Oh yeah, it's like nothing. Like
for like 1.2
yeah.
terahash. So I'm like, dude, yeah, I don't mind having this thing. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely finding a pivot in home mining and the mentality where, as the GPU miners, and I hate to say dying off, but as GPU miners sell and exit, which I think is the new norm, what I'm finding is that there's an interest in 2 areas now. Solo mining, and a lot of these solo miners at home. I'm seeing a lot of these tinkerers come out. Like, BitX has its own little like niche where like people like buy these things and add these things to them and swap these things with them. And then on top of that, another niche I'm seeing is then DEPIN. And it seems like between the 2 of those, that is pretty much taking the place of GPU mining. What do you think about that?
No, I agree, man. It's all about where the money is for most people, I think. So, like, there's only so long you can not make money with something, and then you're like, let me venture out into something that is making money. And then for me, I like making the money, so I don't really care if that's CPU or GPU or ASIC. Like, if CPU mining ended up being 10 times more profitable than anything else, I would just flock to that. But I mean, it's really not. I think for me, the biggest thing is the lower wattage, or really almost no wattage. Like a GeoNet's using, I don't know, 5 watts, 3 watts. Demo's nothing. It's in my car. Right, these things as examples is just nothing, right? It doesn't increase my electric bill. I really love that, because I have a really high electric bill. I mean, it's like 22 cents right now. Right, so like mining is just impossible, unless it's very low wattage. And I like that about it. I just love not getting a bill. It's a big deal for me.
Yeah, well, it's crazy for us to think about, because we've been in the scene long enough where we've seen where it's like, all right, you have the upfront capital for the hardware, the GPU, everything else involved supporting hardware, or the ASIC, but then you also have the flip side, which is the operating cost. And you and I have seen that. Like, we've been a part of that. That's been normal for us. And now it's like, okay, we have these low watt miners. I mean, really low watt miners where we barely even look at the electric. Like, we don't even consider it. And then on the flip side, you have the DEPIN miners, and it's like, okay, you got some capital, but like, we're not talking about a ton. Traditionally, these things are under $500. And it's like, okay, great. So, and a lot of it is investing in hardware where we don't know where it's going to go. You talked about GeoNet. I'm actually in the process of going to be installing another one on my my ASIC shed, because I'm like, man, I got a hex, I can cover it. Let's go. Fully available. I've been running my GeoNet for a while now. It's been great. But the nice thing is like these DEPIN projects, a lot of them are still in testnet. A lot of them that I've gotten into recently, and I'm okay with that, which is wild, because go back to like 2 years ago, I never would have bought something that was like, it's in testnet, it makes nothing. Like, I never would have taken that plunge. And now I'm like, sure, this is great. I'm looking forward to it. What do you think about that with just kind of these testnet DEPIN projects? Are some of those you're leaning more towards, or are you still purely looking at the profit?
Testnet, I am open to, absolutely, if it's cheap enough, for sure. Like WeatherXM was one my friend told me about like literally 2 years ago. And I was like, man, I don't want to run that in my backyard. And I wasn't really open to it. I'm gonna be honest, from 2021 bull run, helium was like the thing, as you know, for DEPIN, and it didn't do well for me. So it left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, DEPIN kind of sucks. And then I tried Demo, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I just kept exploring. So I think there's a lot of people who are exploring, and they'll remember that helium scar. But then when you kind of try it out, you're like, it's not that bad. So I am open to testnet, because you never know. Like Natix, I don't know how you say it, worked out really well for me. I'm not against it at all, as long as it's not too much money.
Yeah, I can see that. I think helium IoT, we'll call it, very much, it was out before DEPIN was even a word that anyone was speaking in our industry, right? It was just like that was DEPIN without even, us even recognizing it. And now it's crazy how many projects have gone that way, which has been good. But pivoting over, markets recently, they were rough, but now we're starting to crawl our way out of it slowly. We're back into the 80s, which I love it. 84, 85. How you feeling about where things are right now? I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, and I'll be honest, no one knows where things are going at this point.
Bullish, always bullish, perma bull. Okay, so look, it goes down. Like I said, we buy more. It goes up, I'm making money. Like, I'm in it for the long term. I'm thinking 2030, 2035. I'm thinking really long term. Now, you got to be careful with that, right? That's going to be like your Bitcoins of the world for sure. Hopefully the Solanas of the world, those kind of things. But, 100%, I'm all very happy. The biggest thing for me, I look at the S&P 500. I say it all the time. Look at the last 90-year chart. You pull it up. There is not one thing that we haven't gone through, whether that was the Great Depression we recovered from, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, dot-com bubble. It doesn't matter. You name it. We have always gone up. Now, it might take a year or two, sometimes even 3, but it doesn't matter. It will always go up. And so I like to think that Bitcoin will follow somewhat of the S&P 500 in that direction. It's certainly on. I mean, it's involved with stocks in some way as ETFs and everything. So I'm really bullish long term.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have short-term blinders on. Like, they literally look at the week or the month, and it's wild to think about that. I mean, we had a really good like November to like mid-February. Markets were looking good. We have Bitcoin doing well. I mean, Dogecoin was popping off like crazy. And I remember because I had recently got my L9 and that was doing insane profits per day, which was absolutely nuts. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. Based off of things that I've learned over the last few years of just putting aside a little something in order to reinvest during these down markets. I heard a great one today. I actually thought of you. It was a Gary V actual quote. And I'm reading over here. It said, tough markets is when A players eat. And it was talking about the fact of like, during these times when everybody's complaining or seeing red in the streets or red across the board, your B and C players sit there and complain about how the market's terrible, where we are, and your A players step up and go buying opportunity, just like you and I had talked about, like buying a little bit here, buying a little bit there. And it sucks for the short term, right? And I get it. Like when you're looking through that short term lens, I get it 100%. It does suck. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not in this for the week or for the month, like I'm here for the long term and more bullish about it. Any thoughts there?
100%, man. I love that quote, by the way, Gary V.
Yeah.
Gary V. I love that, man, because the more the market goes down, the more I'm on my grind. Okay. Right now it's at 83. So I'm like, okay, let me buy a little something here, wait till 70s. If Bitcoin goes to 60s, I'm going out door dashing the same night. As soon as I see it, I'm going to, because they pay every week. Any extra money. I'm going to put stuff on eBay. I got other things to sell locally. I need money. I need Bitcoin. If that thing goes to 50K, don't suggest this. I'm going to get a little loan, right? It doesn't matter. Like the lower we go, the more I'm just going. The harder I go, that motivates me the most. When things start going up, I'm like, okay, let me calm it down a little bit. Let me just let the Bitcoin appreciate, let everything just kind of go up, and I'll enjoy myself. I chill out when things are going up. When they're going down, it's grind time.
So I love that, by the way. What I'm thinking about is like, we have viewers right now that are like, okay, so should I be buying crypto or should I be buying miners? And based off of that, where we are right now, just kind of the swings we've seen, what are your thoughts? Do you lean more towards the crypto? Do you lean more towards the miner? Because I think both you and I are kind of in both schools of thought right now.
If it's Bitcoin, I say buy Bitcoin. I don't think you're going to get S21 XP or something, and it's going to be worthwhile. I don't think so. Really, any of the Bitcoin machines are going to be worth your time. If you're interested in altcoins, man, maybe half and half. Maybe half and half. Because this is so hard to say, because the last couple years I've been like waiting for this opportunity, like this is going to be it, and the altcoin season hasn't come, and hopefully it does. And I've been saying like, yeah, you should be buying these miners, they're cheap, get them, and they are pretty cheap relatively to what they have been or could be, I think, in the future. So I would say half and half if you can. Half and half, just to be safe. You just don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah, no, I like the idea. Where I see it as is, and I did this just more recently, is like when the markets dip, and they dip hard. And a great example, and I've been kind of, following this, is with like the L9. Like I got mine back in October, November. It was $8,600. But then when we got into January, it was $17,000. And I was like, this is not the buying time. But I had more interest on my consulting calls and people reaching out in DMs of looking to buy L9s when it's at like 17 grand. This is like those memes you see online where it's like Bitcoin at 100 grand. It's got a long line versus Bitcoin at, 70. This is the exact same example where like, I'm not going to recommend, I'm not going to turn you away. You're just getting into it now because we don't know. We don't know how long that's going to exist, right? It lasted a good 3 to 4 months, but that could have lasted like a year. We really don't know. And so I am of the school of thought of like, okay, I'm going to buy hardware when, the markets are down for continued several weeks. And that's what I did. I bought an L9, another L9 the other week for $8,600, the exact same price I paid back in October, November. So I waited and then I was finally like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. And I think the same opportunity happens as well with like crypto, where it's like free to DCA in, man. If that's the only way you can participate in this, do it. Like, love it. But definitely put a little nest egg aside for when the markets dip hard and buy more. So it's tough because, as I said before, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that the market's going to go from 109 down to 70. You really don't know. So you got to make the decision in the moment. Just try to make smart ones if you can.
And the only way to take advantage of days, like, I don't know when people are watching this, about a week or two ago, I saw something interesting that this was, I think, number two most aggressive dip in the S&P 500 since, I don't know, the 70s or 80s or something. Like, this is like records. I mean, Tesla dropped 22% in like a day. I mean, these things don't happen very often. So in that moment in time, you're not going to be able to buy a miner. This is why I say kind of maybe half and half. A miner's not going to get you any more yield, right? Like, I'm just going to make up something like an S21 is only going to give you whatever amount of Satoshi, right? That's it. So it didn't really matter if it was up or down. But when you have huge sell-offs like that, if you have some cash on the side or USDT or whatever you have, yes, you could say, wow, 20% crash, 15% crash, 10% crash, or dip, or whatever you want to call it. I could take advantage of that. And those moments, you know, generally it recovers really quickly. And of course, sometimes it goes down more and more, but you know, you can't take advantage of that simply by buying a miner. You kind of have to buy the coin for certain occasions.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So in the last about 10 minutes we have in this recording, let's talk a little bit about ALEO. So have you been following ALEO? Have you been interested in it? Are you mining it, buying it? Where are you at right now with ALEO?
I'm scared for ALEO, unless you already have a machine, because I just saw that Ice River dropped it. I think they were like $2,000 and now it's like $700 or $800. I've seen this before. Kind of lived through it now with the lithium. So, you know, and it's worrisome because what do they know? Why would you suddenly cut it in half? Either A, the sales aren't very good for it. It's very possible. Or B, maybe they know that Bitmain is coming, right? And then they want to release their full size. I'm not really sure. We've seen this with like Radiant. We've seen this now with Alephium. We've seen with a lot of projects. And most of the time, I mean, with Kaspa, they did with all the Kaspa machines. Every time they do these discounts, I haven't really seen it be beneficial to the user. So maybe I'm wrong on that. You can correct me on that, but
no. Like definitely like, you know, Gold Shell came out with their original AE box, you know, quite a while back, a few months back. And, you know, I have several of those and I've been running those and stacking ALEO like crazy. I've been taking 50% profits though on those daily because I just don't know where this is going to go. You know, it's very much a lesson I learned from Alephium, you know, great example, or from Kaspa. Like, these are great examples where we have seen this rinse and repeat of Gold Shell comes out first to market, you know, which kudos to them. You know, first to market on ASICs is nothing, you know, to kind of look down upon, but then they release like 5 units as fast as possible that are all within 2 weeks of each other. Ice River comes around just like you talked about. And yeah, so those of you guys not familiar, Ice River did have a 50 mega hash at 100 watt AE0. Just within the last day or two, they announced, hey, we're going to crank it from 50 to 60. Same watts, and oh, we're discounting it heavily. So it is down on Ice River's site to about $7.99. You had a power supply in, they charge $55 in shipping. You had 25% tariffs. It takes up to about $1,000. Adds up quickly, folks. So you're going to see a lot of resellers selling it for $1,000. But what's happening now is like Gold Shell came out with a larger size unit and Ice River responded. And they responded with like lower price, better efficiency. It just, man, I don't know how Gold Shell responds with this. Yeah, which is tough. Like, I've worked with them and they're a great team over there, but their spot in the industry is like first to market. And now their time is done, like with the AE. And yeah, I agree with you though, as to what you said about the fact of like, okay, what does Ice River know? And my thought is the AE zeros are shipping within the next 2 weeks. The first batch of those AE zeros, they're still doing pretty good, about $8 a day if you're at about 10 cents per kilowatt hour, which is pretty rare, but there's still those people around. But at 100 watts, as you fluctuate on your electric rate, it's not really going to matter. My thought is are we going to see a big boy AE box come out from Ice River? Are they going to come out with a light box, one of those smaller box miner light boxes? Or are they hearing word on the street, Bitmain stepping up to the plate and they're doing everything they can to take market share?
Yeah, when you play with the bleeding edge like that, like it seems like certainly Gold Shell is like the bleeding edge technology. Like, every time they always come out with the first one and you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. And it's amazing. So it's a very dangerous game. How long until you are obsolete? I mean, you get destroyed with those things long term. And you don't get as destroyed with the Ice Rivers. You might get destroyed, but who knows what's actually going to happen. But Gold Shell, you got to get your money real quick. And it's too much of a gamble for me, I would say, starting with the ALEO. And I don't know enough about the project. I thought I knew a lot about Alephium, and I'm still bullish on it long term. But you know, considering I don't know really anything about ALEO or ALEO, I don't know how people say it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Some people even say ALEO instead of ALEO. Say ALEO. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so for you in that position, based off of what you've learned with Alephium mining, with the hardware, with Kaspa, are you looking to get into ALEO, or you're like, I'm gonna sit back and kind of watch?
It's a good pass for me.
I've
been burnt enough recently.
Yeah, I mean, I try to. It's funny. I've done 2 or 3 videos now on the Gold Shell AE box, and in every one, you know, it's great to see that it's still profitable. That ALEO is still in the top like 3 pieces of hardware out there that are profitable. But I try to reiterate to people of just what we've seen from Gold Shell, from Ice River, and Bitmain with Alephium and with Kaspa. And it's like, okay, the writing's on the wall. We've been given the playbook already. We know what's coming. And so it's definitely one of those, something that you really, really have to be careful
of. 100%, man. It's a scary game. It's a scary game for sure. And all roads kind of just lead me back to Bitcoin, man, because Bitcoin never burns me. Over time, I remember when Bitcoin was $3,000. I want to say this is like 2017, 2018. I can't remember. But I remember, you know, I think the all-time high at the time was like 27 or whatever the heck it was. Crashed down to 3,000, right? And so I always think about that. You know, what did it go to? And then the last bear run or bear market, it was like 19K or whatever it was. And then who knows what this next one's going to be. But over time, Bitcoin, as long as you hold, you don't lose money. So these roads really tend to lead me back. Every time I get burnt, I'm like, man, I just need to stick to Bitcoin. Like every time.
I think something I've learned definitely from last bull run to this bull run, and just with the hardware, just with the different projects, is to consistently be taking profits. And I think it's funny because like when I first got into mining about 5 years ago now, a little bit less, it was all about hodling, right? Like that was the word you heard of like, I'm hodling this, I'm hodling that. Like, and now it's like, don't do that. Like, feel free to put a moon bag aside is what I tell people. I don't even call it hodling anymore. I'm like, put a moon bag aside, like 25% or 50%, but then sell the rest. Like when this thing, great example, ALEO, man, I tell people take 50% profits on that every single day if you can, because you don't know if that's going to be making $20 a day a week from now, 2 weeks from now. I mean, Bitmain could come out and just destroy the entire network. So that is something that I am doing across the board. My script mining, my Bitcoin mining, you know, everything, even ALEO. I'm taking profits. Because great reminder. I actually got this from Red Panda Mining when it was a great reminder of like, wait, we're in the bull run right now. And so you're supposed to be taking profits in the bull run. Remember, like you're not supposed to be mining and stacking and holding. And it's like, oh man, that's like the market feels like it's down, but that's a great reminder.
It feels like only Bitcoin and maybe a couple others like Solana are doing well. And everything else in my portfolio is just like crashed and burned and down 98, 87%. It's wild. It's like I was expecting, and you never know what's going to happen. We never know, man. As soon as, or hopefully the tariff thing gets settled, the money printer comes on, and then overnight, I don't know if that's 6 months from now or whatever, but overnight, it's just everything skyrockets. It goes crazy. That's what I think everybody's been waiting for, and it hasn't really came. It's just Bitcoin's been going up, which is great, but what about everything else? That's what's everybody's waiting on, I think. And that's when I really want to sell, because I'm not selling this stuff at 97% down, man. I already rode the submarine to the bottom of the ocean. I might as well just go a couple more feet. That's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm hoping by the next time we record something like this that the tariffs have settled, especially the big one, which is China. I think if the tariffs have settled, and you know there's some normalcy past tariffs, and the market responds. I mean, we've seen the market respond in both good and bad with the tariff news. So I'm hoping putting all that to bed will actually get us to stabilize again. Cause like, I'm ready. Like we've been kind of playing this game now for, it feels like a long time, but it's been just a few weeks of tariff talks. And it's been brutal. Like, I'm just like heads down, keep pushing forward, you know, not being concerned about it. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. We'll see where we're at next time we go ahead and record. Hopefully we recover and we respond from the tariffs. From myself and DJ, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Peace.